I love the job and I have loved the job. It felt like for a long time that no matter kind of how hard I worked, how many hours I put in, I was very much overlooked for promotion. I would say, if I'm being completely honest, it was a bit of a boys' club. Just didn't feel 100% happy. It kind of, something clicked in me and I thought, you know what, I can be successful.
You might be very good at attracting new clients and customers, but running a business as a mortgage broker, there's so many challenges. The lenders, the solicitors, the industry as a whole.
I need a community for brokers like me where we can talk about all this stuff that happens to us on a day-to-day basis.
I shut myself off from my competitors. I shut myself off from my peers because I was like, well, I just need to get bread on the table. Like, I need to get money in the business.
Don't panic, you will come up against these obstacles and enjoy the journey. See it as an obstacle, as an adventure.
Welcome back to another episode of The Money Honey with me, your host, Rosalia Lazaro Tilley. Today, we are tackling one of the topics that we have spoken about before and going a little bit deeper into the question of, can you really have it all? Your career, your kids, your partner, your health, your fitness, your independence. How can you have it all? And where is it better? You know, is it better to have a safe, secure job in inverted commas where you work in corporate and you have a monthly salary, and then you have your kids and you can have your weekends and you work, your core hours? Or is it better to do your own thing and start from scratch and build your own empire and work it around your family? I did some digging around for some stats and I noticed that a staggering 36.9 million people are in the workforce as of December 2024 in the UK. This is like actually employed in the workforce. And whereas instead there are 4.39 million self-employed workers in the UK as of December 2024. So here we are at the time of recording this, March 2025, and we've actually got a guest on the show who has been on both sides of the fence. She's had her corporate career, she's been in corporate in the mortgage world, and then had a family. And of course, she's here today as her own brand, as her own business. So we obviously know how that story goes, but we're really going to dive into what it feels like to transition from that corporate job to going self-employed. I mean, all the scary things that come with it. I mean, I still remember and still relate to this day what it was like to, start from nothing, have no job, have like no security, no backup plan, and then just starting your business with no clients, not even business card, and just start from scratch. So we're going to discuss that journey with our lovely guests that actually are meeting for the first time ever. You know me, if you followed me for a while, you know I love a bit of LinkedIn activity. So I love doing my DMs and my comments, and I love to meet new people. And when I saw this Money Honey, as you know, you're all called Money Honeys on the show, I was like, I've got to get her on the show because firstly, her name sounds Italian, at least her surname. So I was like, we must have that in common. So I can't wait to ask her about that. Secondly, she has been posting away on LinkedIn about one of her business ventures that really helps mortgage brokers. I won't say too much about it, but when I see an opportunity or someone doing something quite cool and creative in the industry that will help my clients, I want to know about them and I want to scream and shout about their service and recommend them to my clients, because I'm an expert in the finance and property industry when it comes to branding and marketing. So any opportunity, whether it's an event or a person or an award ceremony that I can find and learn about and recommend it to my clients, then that's the value added service that I give to them. So I have recommended this person to a few of my clients already. So I'm super excited to welcome you all. I think she's waiting patiently in the background. We've got Marianne Lombardi on the show. Welcome, Marianne. How are you?
And hi, Roz. Lovely to be here. Thanks so much for having me. It's my husband that's Italian, not me. His name's Gino, not the chef, like I mentioned in my bio. And then I've got my two boys, Massimo and Luciano. So all very Italian names in our house. But yeah, so thanks for having me.
My
Um,
pleasure. Thanks, Marianne, for being here. And would love to get a quick intro for those people who haven't met you before, maybe haven't seen you on LinkedIn. Could you explain who you are and what you do?
yeah, lovely. So I've been in financial services for the last 20 years. I've been doing mortgages for the last 20 years, and I started in a local building society where I got my CMA back in, I think it was like 2004. It was West Brom Building Society. So, I absolutely loved it. It was just brilliant, like kind of a real eye opener for me that I could do this, that I could help people, and it was a real nice family feel there. But in 2008, they got rid of loads of us, so they made quite a few of us redundant, and unfortunately, I was one of them. So at the time, I was just like, absolutely devastated. And I went to work for Countrywide as a mortgage broker, and yeah, it was a shock. It was an absolute shock. And that there was all these other lenders that were doing all these other things. I think when you work for a small building society, you think that that's the way, that there's no other way that things can be done. So it was a huge eye opener for me, going into a state agency as a broker. But it was good. I learnt a lot. I did. I worked hard, worked relentlessly hard, long hours, hard targets. And, you just kind of get stuck in, loved helping people, always loved kind of the part of finding the solution rather than the solution itself, like the journey rather than the destination. So love that, love the job. But kind of, yeah, then I got married and had two kids. And although I loved the job and I have loved the job all the time I've been doing it, it felt like for a long time that no matter kind of how hard I worked, how many hours I put in, how many targets I hit, I was very much overlooked for a promotion. Maybe kind of best to keep me where I am, hitting those numbers or and keep working hard. But yeah, there was an element, I would say, if I'm being completely honest, when I was doing it, especially in the noughties, where it was a bit of a boys' club. Hand on my heart, that's how it felt. So by the time I did get married and I had the kids, I kind of become a bit disillusioned with that. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it for myself. I'm just going to do it for myself, going to be a sole trader, going to work around the kids, going to pick the kids up from school. And I guess I was very reactive, at that point. I thought this is just going to be a lifestyle job for me. It's not my heart, yeah, I was still enjoying it, but I wasn't like driving it, passionately. And I put a lot of focus at that point in my life on my husband's career because I took the focus off myself and I focused on the kids, as you do. But after a few years, kind of like had an itch, needed to scratch, my belly. And I thought, I just didn't feel 100% happy. I didn't quite know what it was, but I couldn't kind of base my success on my husband's success or what he was doing, just needed something a bit more. So I started networking. I thought, I'm going to grow my business. I'm going to grow a brand. I'm going to do something. And it's lonely, isn't it? I mean, I know quite a lot of mortgage brokers and a lot of them are by themselves. It can be a lonely place, like being by yourself and not having that support. So I thought I'll get out networking and, see what I can do. And I met some incredible people, some incredible women, like really incredible. And I got myself a business coach. And I thought, you know what, that's working. I'm going to get myself a personal trainer. So I kind of started doing all these things that I hadn't been doing before. My business coach introduced me to an incredible book, which was Sheryl Sandberg, Lean In, and it kind of just changed. It kind of something clicked in me, and I thought, you know what, I can be successful and still be a good mom. And that was a real kind of realization for me, is that I can grow my business and I'm still a good mom. It doesn't make me less of a mom because I'm ambitious or, I want to grow a business. I want to employ people. I want to do the right thing. So yeah, that's what happened. And my business coach was phenomenal. She taught me through how to do it. And last November, I employed somebody, just took my own office on. But something else kind of happened as well during that period. I realised that, it'd been quite lonely and it'd been quite hard and I'd been isolated, that I didn't know anybody. Well, I didn't even join LinkedIn, Roz, till a year ago. I didn't, I mean, I'm in my 40s now. I'm like, what is this? What is this place? And I didn't even start using it till 6 months ago, which is when I thought, I need a community. I need a community for brokers like me where we can talk about more than criteria, where we can talk about all this stuff that happens to us on a day-to-day basis that can't be kind of looked after by a network or something like that. It needs to be just brokers, one-on-one. Oh, how much do you charge? Or what do you pay estate agents? Or what do you think about this network? Just really, really good conversations in a safe space. Yeah, started that in October. We've got 97 members now from all over the UK, and it's growing every day. It's growing. More people are joining, getting involved, supporting each other. It's free, and it's just like people are placing cases. People are deciding what they want to do with their career just from having these amazing conversations on the site. So for me at the moment, this is like my passion, I suppose, to, grow it and get more support because it's lonely.
I think that's amazing, Marianne, what you have built from understanding your own journey and your own struggles, and the fact that you've created a safe space for other people to also really do, benefit from this community. Like, that's really, really fantastic. That's why I was drawn to you, even though you've only been on LinkedIn, I guess, for less than a year. This is why I was drawn to you, because I could sense what you were doing. And yes, you're running your mortgage business, which is Agree Mortgages, but you're also running your mortgage chat where you felt yourself isolated, held back or frustrated with the industry. And as mortgage brokers, like, I feel for you guys. There's so much that you guys are going through. Like, sometimes, the hardest thing isn't even trying to get a new lead, because if you talk to someone who needs a mortgage, you're like, yes, I love to work with you. But then actually what's affecting your business is, the Bank of England, the lenders, the solicitors, the industry as a whole. So actually, you might be very good at attracting new clients and customers, but running a business as a mortgage broker, there's so many challenges, like the time investment that you have to put into your business, and then you have to market yourself and do all the application. It's a hard business model.
Yeah, there's so much, isn't there? It's not just criteria. There's so much more to it
So
that
much more.
people.
I mean, hard enough to understand criteria. I mean, like, the technicalities to understand criteria and compliance. Goodness, the
I know.
compliance. And then on top of that, you've got to navigate LinkedIn, and you've got to navigate videos, and you've got to navigate, your mindset. Because I do
Yeah.
also see how mortgage brokers go from, like, working in a bank or working for a bigger corporate brokerage. They become really good at their job. So they're really good at being a broker, and they're the top of their game in this company. And then they think, do you know what? I can do this for myself. And not realizing that actually, when you do it for yourself, the reason you were so good at being a mortgage broker day in, day out is because you had leads at your desk waiting for you. When you go out on your own, what else do you have to deal with, Marianne?
There's so much, isn't there? I mean, it's just even. This was one the other day. We were talking about where do you get your leads from? Where do people buy your leads from? And you've got this whole thing, haven't you, with unbiased and the other things. And that was a big conversation on there the other day. Where do you get your leads from, and which network do you join? And do you know anything about the other networks? A lot of these people, like you said, that work in banks or work in a estate agency, they're probably not even on LinkedIn, or they probably haven't got connections with other brokers to kind of get that advice. That's so important. And what I found a lot as well is just that kind of throughout my career, and especially as a broker, we kind of kept apart, aren't we? We're like, oh no, that's my business. I don't want to speak to another broker, or that's my area, I cover that. And in even some networking, it's a one seat policy, so you're kept away from these other people that could just give you that kind of valuable insight that somebody that is on the job would know, because other people don't know. So it's a kind of place where we can come together and have these
I
really
love that.
honest conversations.
Yeah, you've got a network. Like, I love talking to other marketers as well, and there's people in my team that I can talk to and say, gosh, a client thinks I can do this, this, and this, but I can't. Like, it's not something I can do. And what would you do about that? Because of course, with my clients, I just want to offer them the solution and the outcome and the result. Whereas with my peers, I can talk about, like, oh, a client's just said this, or I've just come across this problem on the algorithm or on YouTube. Well, how do you think I can improve it? So I've actually held myself back. If I'm completely honest, I've held myself so much back in my business because when I first started, I shut myself off from my competitors. I shut myself off from my peers, because I was like, well, I just need to get bread on the table. Like, I need to get money in the business. I am starting in the middle of a pandemic. I've got no business cards. There's no networking events. There's a few online, but I just had to watch other people do their 60-second intro. And then I had to do my 60-second intro. And it was just like, I just always felt like late to the party. So anyway, I held myself back in my business for a long time because I shut myself away from my peers and my counterparts. Like, I didn't speak to other marketers or other social media managers. I just thought, this is what I'm going to do. And I just need to attract new leads, new leads, new leads, new leads. But actually today I've got 12 people that work at Manuka Media. And I honestly, Marianne, I don't know where they came from. Like, I went from being just me, and then I was like, oh, I got a PA. Oh my God, like, she can help me with so many things.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, where did these people, I literally looked up like a meerkat, and I was like, how are these people working at Manuka Media? And what are they all doing that I used to do? Like, the amount of work. So the more I've noticed that the more I've spent time with my peers and my colleagues that aren't clients, the more my business has grown, the more my team has expanded, the more services I've been able to add to my offering, and the more I've changed things. Like, I've improved my booking system, I've improved my contracts, I've improved my packages, I've improved so much,
Yeah.
but not from my clients, from my colleagues. So your mortgage chat is just absolute gold from what I can see from the outside. I've not been in it yet, and I'm not a mortgage broker, so I don't know what I'd be in for. I appreciate I'm not your target audience, but I can see that you are offering this safe space and safe community for people to chat, but you could also invite in guest speakers who could talk to your community about mindset, about breath work, about business contracts, about how to sell yourself and how to market yourself, because who was going to teach you?
You're right. And, I absolutely love that. That is amazing because we do have guest speakers on at the moment. But you know what? It's mainly been like business development managers. We pick up on like niche criteria that's been mentioned and maybe get someone in. But I do think you're right. It's much, much bigger than that. There's mental health as well, isn't it? It can be quite a stressful job, but just anybody coming in and talking about something that's a benefit to the job, like people like you, like anyone that's grown a business as well. There's just so much scope. A recruiter contacted me and he said, oh, can I come on? And I was like, yeah, why not? You want to grow your business, a recruiter can, help you do that. So there's just so much. There's so
But
much.
also, yeah, but a recruiter, sorry on that, like, they should be coming in with adding value, not, hi, I'm a recruiter, use me if
Yeah,
you need someone. They could help mortgage brokers understand how to attract talent, how
yeah,
to recruit. Like, when I was recruiting, I was literally like, oh my God, is anyone up for working? Does anyone want any money? Like, literally, I'm willing to give some money away. Yeah.
yeah,
Anyone want some? And it
yeah.
was like, some people were coming to their interview, like, they just couldn't be bothered. And I
Mm.
was like, I'm offering you to do some work and give you some money for it. And you haven't even looked at what we do. Like, you haven't even researched who we are. And yeah, so understanding how to, like, find the right talent, how much you should be paying for your broker admin support,
Yeah.
all that is so crucial to the conversation. So yeah, I think, I can see mortgage chat exploding with partnerships. Like, I think you've got, is it a free membership or is it paid for?
Yeah, so it's free for members. So the members are completely free. There will be the way we want it to grow, which is always open to the community as well, will be hopefully, with maybe these people coming in as partners in some way, that it would pay for that. But I want it to be free for the members, just to encourage more brokers to join. Because to be honest, all these people talking to each other, there's a lot of opportunity for other people, that they can gain, but support with as well. So there's a way for it to make money that doesn't have to come at a cost to the members, which, I'm quite keen to keep it that way. We've got some amazing brokers on. I'm just like, I can't believe it. We've got someone from Northern Ireland. We've got people with 40 years experience. They're down in Dorset. They're up over, like I said, in Northern. They're from everywhere, all different experiences. And, we have these virtual coffee mornings once a week, and we all just jump on and, get to know each other. And, it's amazing. I've never been able to get to know that many people before. I've never been able to speak to people. Like, people are calling me up all the time, can we have a chat? And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. My eyes have been opened,
Oh, I
massively.
love that. That's why we did. That's why, like, I don't know if you've been seeing my content, but I've been doing a lot about like the Women in Finance retreat. That was like a house in Wales filled with just mortgage brokers, like just female mortgage brokers. We went away on a holiday together, but we had guest speakers and we had sponsors. I mean, you could be a part of that in the future if you want
Oh,
to.
I
But
would
yeah,
love to, yeah.
yeah, we had sponsors who wanted to have access. We had lenders who are like, well, you've got a house full of mortgage brokers. We want to be there. Do you know what I mean? So we had those connections, and yeah, it was so. And the amount of business, by the way, like I've had a text the other day from a client of mine who's worked with me on her social media and her content. So I invited her to the house. She bought a ticket. She spent the weekend there in a hot tub, and I was saying to her, I was like, this is who these people are, right? So she was mingling, and then out of that opportunity, I can't disclose what it is, but she has been given a very honourable position as a mortgage broker. When you've got like industry bodies, panels, it's one of those things that she's been given a very noble position in one of those platforms. So that was amazing. Someone else has started a brand new business from scratch off the back of that retreat. Someone else wants to write a book because she was telling her story to everyone.
Amazing.
Honestly,
I
like
love it.
I was running around getting crisps and Prosecco for everyone. And then everyone was like, Ros, so basically me and her are partnering. Me and her are going to do this. Da, 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 da. I was like, oh my God, I thought you girls were just like drinking in the hot tub. But actually, so much business has come out of it. I'm just in awe of them. Like it was such a nourishing weekend, honestly.
That
So
just
good.
sounds amazing. I just think
Yeah.
like collaboration is everything, isn't it? And, not staying away from each other. There's enough business for everybody. Just that shared experience. I mean, if the opportunity comes up, I would love to be part of that.
We will talk to you offline about it, because I do think if you want to be the face of, and you want to be given this platform to share what you're doing, absolutely, I'll chat to my business partner on this, who I collab with on that. It's Kim McGinley from Vibe, and so I don't know if you've seen her, but yeah, something like that. We would love to give you that stage and that platform. So yeah, certainly we can talk to you about that offline. So tell me, just we're coming near to the end of our wonderful chat, and I don't ever feel like I've got enough time, because I could talk to you about this. There's so much more, but why don't we end on your top tips? You're on the spot. I appreciate that. You are. But from your experience to another. So imagine a corporate mortgage broker is listening to you right now, or someone who has just literally packed in their corporate job, has started solo, and they're like, what are the chances of this podcast coming out at this time? What 5 top tips would you leave them with to say, if you are stuck in a corporate job and mortgages and you want to go self-employed, or you've just taken that big leap and you're now feeling like, oh my God, what are the 5 most crucial steps or top tips that you would give them?
I think like the first thing would be just to make sure you're organised. It's easy to kind of get lost, isn't it, when you get go self-employed, and just have some organisation to your day. Just make sure you're following up all your leads, networking is amazing. There's a lot of stuff by me now that's networking, and I love that. So you don't have to have that big greasy breakfast. And just introducing yourself to local people, like popping in to, like, I'll go to the florist. I always take my cards into hairdressers, because people can be sat in that hairdresser chair for 4 hours. So but those are kind of just your standard things. That the one thing I would really say, I guess, that someone told me a long time ago is, don't panic. You will come up against these obstacles, and enjoy the journey. See it as an obstacle, as an adventure, rather than a failure. How you're going to get past it, what are you going to do, and just enjoy the journey. I've always enjoyed the journey, and it's never kind of let me down. So yeah, just go for it. And it might get a bit hairy, but just go for it.
Hairy, I love that. I love it if it gets hairy. And of course, if everyone is aware of somebody else that might be going through this, maybe you're 20 years in, but actually you've just encouraged a friend of yours to just take that leap, then the mortgage chat is available. Marianne Lombardi is available on LinkedIn. Please don't neglect this help. Like, this help is there. And so, I know it's scary to start a business from scratch. I've been there. Had I allowed myself to be a part of a community, I probably would have found the answers a lot faster. I'm blaming myself. I didn't accept the help. I didn't go out looking for help. I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to get on with this because I need some money. And now, as I've grown faster than expected, there's been challenges like, oh my God, what contracts do I need? And what about this? And what about, so we're always learning. So the help is there. Exactly. And that's why I like to bring to you, everybody, on the Money Honey Show, either an inspirational story or a challenging concept that you want to tackle, or just some helpful guidance and information. So, the audience here, we typically get, financial advisors, mortgage brokers, property experts listening in, women in construction. So that's the community, that's the space. So, Marianne, again, one last question on the spot. If there was one money honey that you would love to see on the show, who would that be?
Oh, it would be Sinead from Pickford Solicitors in
Okay.
Yeah, she's absolutely amazing. She's kind of been a real inspiration to me, like what she's done. Yeah, she's amazing. Sinead Teague, she's on LinkedIn.
Okay, so this is how we do it in true Money Honey style. So what we recommend is, when your episode comes out and you're sharing about it, like, hey guys, like, look, I'm on the Money Honey podcast, we say that the power of positive pollination is paying it forward. So that's our philosophy here at Manuka Media and the Money Honey, which is positive pollination. And how we suggest that you, it's just a suggestion if you're willing to play the game, which is, if you wanted to give that gift to, because she can't hear this yet, so she doesn't know you've said this, but if you wanted to surprise her in your post to say, I've just been on the Money Honey and I've just done an interview with Roz, I nominate, and then you could tag Sinead and she'll be like, what?
I know, so, I love that. I love it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, she's
so
phenomenal.
She might take it. She might be like, do you know what, ladies listening, by the way, I have actually asked many people to come on the show, because I'm very, if I haven't asked you, doesn't mean I don't want you on the show. You can nominate yourself, no problem whatsoever. Come on, let me know that you want to be on. But I've gone to those people who have stood out to me, and I thought, actually, they're doing something interesting. Let me invite them. But there have been people who I've asked and have said, no thanks. Because but not because of me, but because they just can't bring themselves to, it's very nerve-wracking. It's a video, it's a chat, it's recorded. And I've been like, oh my God, babe, like, totally cool with that. Like, thanks for saying no. It's okay. I think we need to be okay with being like, actually, it's not my thing. So, if you do get nominated, or if I do ask you, please don't feel embarrassed to say no. If it's not for you, it's not for you. It's just totally cool with that. So yeah, I think we, I've created this to bring that community together and to bring a spotlight to the talent that we've got in our industry. But some people may not want to take that spotlight, and that's okay.
It's nerve-wracking, I'm not going to lie. I was being a bit nervous about it. I was up at 2 a.m. thinking, oh, what am I going to say? And it would have been an easy thing to say no, but I'm so glad I've done it. It's been lovely talking to you.
Oh, I'm so glad to have met. I'm glad you didn't give up, and I'm sorry you lost some sleep over it. I hope that you've seen how cool and relaxed it is. Actually,
Yeah, it was.
it's not that serious. It's a serious topic. Obviously, if we want to see change in our industry, we've got to be the change, and we've got to show up and represent. That's what I always say: show up and represent. Be that voice in the face that other woman needs, that you needed,
Yeah,
right? And someone else could look at it and be like, "Oh my God, Marianne really helped or inspired me. Means I can too." So thank you for being an outstanding money honey for everybody here today. You should be proud for having used your voice to make this impact. So thank you.
thanks, Ross. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, my pleasure. I love what you're doing. I will see you on LinkedIn. We will chat offline for all things women in finance related. But for everyone who's tuned in, thank you once again for having us maybe on your run to work or your car journey to school, wherever you are. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love the loyalty that you have all shown for those who keep coming back time and time after time and time again. Our community is growing. We did take a bit of a pause, but we're back with more exciting episodes. But if you have been around, or if this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe. The more our community grows, the more talent and the more we can keep going, right? This is your way of positive pollination. Whether you speak on the show or just listen, that is super powerful. Like the fact that you're listening as a money honey, and that subscription just to all that gives us the opportunity to keep growing this. So thank you for being here as a listener, and I will see you on the next episode.